Social media strategy for real estate agents. Where do you even begin? If this is a part of your business that you're looking to ramp up or get started with, how do you go about it? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down some simple next steps you can take to get the social media side of your business up and running in a way that is effective so that you can generate clients without spending any money for ads, followers, or anything whatsoever. And if you're new to the channel, my name's Tyler Roicki. I help people build income and wealth in real estate, and I run an international real estate team at eXp Realty. If you get any value whatsoever out of this video, all I'd ask is that you like, comment, and hit that subscribe button so I can continue to share more tips and resources with you in the time ahead. And with that being said, let's dive into the video. So I'm going to break down 3 things that are important to understand that are going to help you to be effective as you get started ramping up your social media presence so that you can sell more real estate. And the first of those 3 things is your purpose with doing this. It's important to understand that the whole point of this is to help people. And you have to approach this with a genuine intent. And the most genuine thing you could possibly do is to desire to help people, not to sell people. This is fundamentally what most realtors get wrong who are active with their social media presence. I see far too many people in our industry where every single post they make seems to be something salesy, that it's like an ad that you don't even want to see in your feed, but it's not an ad, it's a post. And what happens when you do that? No one engages with your stuff. No one wants to see your stuff. And if they're not seeing your stuff, they're probably not going to want to work with you because they're probably not even going to remember you when it comes time that they need help with real estate. So if you want to not be effective, make every single post that you make like a house for sale or an open house you're hosting or something. Like, it's okay if those are sprinkled in there, but you got to understand the very last thing you should ever be doing with your social media content is to be posting ads. It's not what to do, and it's not a way to approach this with a genuine intent. Now, if you were to want to help people, what would you post? And we're going to get to that in a moment here. But before we do, it's important that you pick a starting point, right? So pick a platform. So whichever social media platform you currently are connected with the most people, that will be the winner. Pick that platform. In fact, start with your exact account that you've been using up to this point where you have all those existing connections. The worst possible thing you could do is to start a brand new account and start building that following from scratch. If you have an account to work with, use it. If you don't, then your next best option is to start from scratch. But don't do that if you already have an account where you have connections, because then you're going to be trying to get all those existing connections to the new account, and it's just not going to happen. It's just not. So start with where you have those existing connections, and it's going to help you to kickstart your presence on social media, and it's going to help you to actually stay in front of the people you're already connected with. And that leads us to the second key thing, which is what to post. So very simple. Your content should achieve one of 3 things at minimum. It should either educate people, entertain people, or impact people. First 2 pretty self-explanatory. In fact, I'll give you some examples. Educate people would be information about buying real estate, information about the market, any topics that are trending that are relevant to what it is that we're involved with in this industry as industry experts. That would be educational content, something that helps make people's life better for having known it, and you're a conduit of that information. The second thing, entertaining, well, think of all the real estate TV shows people watch. Fixing and flipping homes. Now there's shows with realtors on it too, like $1 million listings, stuff like that. People want to see interesting properties. There's a lot of elements about real estate in our day-to-day business that people will find interesting. Maybe we don't think so because we don't think our own lives are that interesting a lot of times, but fact is, like, think of all the stuff people are hooked on reality TV. Your cell phone camera is your lens through your own reality TV, that it's like the day-to-day in your business and interesting things that pop up along the way. And that's your opportunity to entertain people. In fact, maybe you're entertaining. If so, great. You can put a fun spin on it that's even more personal. Even if you don't feel like you're entertaining, it doesn't matter. Like, homes are entertaining. Like, you have access to things that people will find interesting if if you're actually sharing them out there. And third impact, that would be like a heartfelt message. Think of a post you read that really you felt something when you read it. That's what impactful is. This one's more difficult to think of an example, but actually, imagine you had a scenario with the client and you got them a result and it was something meaningful. Like anything you can share about that might lead to an impactful message, but that's also something that would be a valuable content piece. You want to be sharing testimonials and results as you're collecting them, because that's a way that you're going to have some social proof to share in the process. And then also, on the note of what to post, I'm going to add video. Any form of video that you can utilize is one of the most effective things you can do right now. Short form video is getting a lot more attention because it's the trending thing right now. And so that's any short video content you can post, such as if it's Instagram, it's a reel. If it's YouTube, it's a short. But regardless of what it's called, that's like a 10-second to minute-long video, and it can be something very simple, very straight to the point, something that doesn't really even take you much any time whatsoever to create. And you can also use video for stories. You can use video for just about any content you want to use, and it's one of the most effective things you can do. And the third thing that you're going to want to know to really get the ball rolling with your social media presence is engagement. And so you want high engaging content, because that's how these platforms will reward you for posting, and that's how they're going to determine as you're posting over and over again whether or not they want to put your stuff in front of more people. How engaging is the content? So with video, for instance, engaging will mean high watch time and audience retention. The worst possible thing that could happen with a video is a bunch of people watch it and click off after the first 5 seconds. And I'm just making up 5 seconds as a number. Like, the longer your video is, the more time you want to retain your audience. And so that's how you'll get more organic reach, is if the platforms are noticing that the videos you post are retaining the audience longer than your typical video. And that's how, even on an individual basis, one video might reach more people. A lot of it can have to do with exactly what I'm telling you here. So watch time is one thing, so you want as much watch time as possible when you're posting stuff, but you also want to retain the audience for as high percentage of that video as possible. And also stories. So stories are a little different, but the way you can get engagement with those is based on how people react to them, if they're reacting to them at all. And so one thing you can do to get reactions is asking the right questions. So that's an opportunity to engage your audience, asking them questions in the stories you're sharing, and figure out ways you can include your audience in the conversation with the various posts and stories you're making. You don't have to do it every single time, but just think of how you can get people engaging with what you're sharing, making it like less of a one-sided conversation where you're just speaking to all your audience, and more of something that they can get involved with and react to. And occasionally, don't do this every time. In fact, make it rare that you do this, if anything, but have a call to action. And what a call to action is, meaning like giving people a next step they can take with you if something's applicable for where they're at in the process. So, it could be something, this is just one of many ways this could play out, but like, for instance, you're educating people on a step in the home buying process with the post, and maybe you have something of value that could help somebody who's about to buy a home right now or in the near future. And a call to action would be, hey, if you know anyone who could use this down payment assistance, go ahead and do this. And then you direct them to do one thing specifically. That could be send me a DM. Direct them to one place. Don't tell them 100 ways they can contact you, because then they're going to get confused and they're not going to do anything. Direct them to one specific thing to do, and to do it if this is applicable for anyone they know, and to share it if they do know somebody this could help. That's one example of what I mean by call to action, but don't do that on every single post. The last thing, like I said, going back to the very first thing, your intent should not be to sell people with this. It should be to genuinely help people through your content. Because guess what? The more helpful your content actually is, the more it educates, entertains, and impacts people, the more people are going to naturally want to gravitate towards you and actually share your stuff with the people they know who it could also be helpful for. And if at the end of the day, people know you're active in the business, from time to time you're sprinkling in examples of how it is you help people, the results you got, they're naturally going to start to come to you with the questions they have as they have them. And some people will respond to those call to actions too, as you sprinkle those in as well. But that would be an effective way to go about ramping up your social media game, approach it with the right purpose, post stuff that achieves one of those 3 goals I mentioned, and make sure that you're intentional about your engagement and what you're doing to get your audience to engage, and actually keep an eye on the watch time and audience retention you're having, and be strategic about what you're doing to get a solid amount of watch time, and also make sure you're retaining your viewers as they're watching. And the more valuable your content is, the more it's probably going to do that just on its own. So those are the tips. That's how you get started with it if you're not already ramping up your social media. And at this point, here's what I tell you. If there is anything I can do to help you and give you more feedback related to this topic, or honestly anything related to selling more real estate, building and scaling your business, I would love to know exactly what it is you need help with, and from there we can assess how I can best possibly help you in the process. So if that's where you're at, go ahead and reach out. Send me an email. You'll find that in the description below. Let me know where you're at in the business today, what it is you're trying to do, and I'll come back to you and see exactly what I can do to help you with those next steps forward to get closer towards your goal with it. And if you got value out of this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I want to make sure that I can continue to share tips and resources with you to help you build your business in the time ahead. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching the video, and until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.